guys, as per usual, this is not investment advice and I'm not a financial planner and I don't know your situation, so don't make investments just based on this video. Alright, enjoy. Bitcoin, blockchain, Ethereum, Ripple. These are some of the terms I'm hearing from who I'd call non-investors. You know, your tradesmen and gardeners, and when I start to hear things like, oh, I'm quitting my job and going to trade cryptocurrencies, that makes me very nervous about cryptocurrencies. And I kind of like cryptocurrencies, so it makes me a little bit nervous about the actual future of them, particularly ICOs, which are the initial coin offerings that a lot of these companies and individuals are using to raise funds. Now, I first learned about cryptocurrencies in 2010 off the top of my head, and Bitcoin was around 10 cents a coin at that stage, and I did the math that it really made me cry. $100 then would have made me about $10 million today, Australian. Hindsight, if I had known this share was going to go up, or this was going to happen, or this was going to happen, or I knew the numbers on the next lottery ticket, same deal, I could be an absolute millionaire. But unfortunately, I can't see the future, and that's how it is. So moving on from my pity party, do I own any cryptocurrencies at the moment? No, I don't. I don't own a single one. Am I open to it? Well, I really like cryptocurrencies, and I think in 10, 15, 20 years time, the majority of people will be using cryptocurrencies, just like the majority of people use the internet. But at the moment, it's very similar to the dot-com boom. Lots of new things coming out, lots of hype, lots of people just pouring in and speculating on things they don't really understand. At this point in time, I'd imagine cryptocurrencies are more like the proving it works phase. And then as time goes on, and then we can actually scale the cryptocurrencies to be used by the masses, using things like the Ethereum smart contracts and all applications that stem from that, I think in the long term are going to make a real difference. And I believe that a lot of the companies now should be nervous because there will be disruption, but I think a lot of the companies will be the ones taking advantage of these technologies in the long run. Is Bitcoin worth $10,000 Australian? Well, to somebody it is. To somebody, and that's all that you need for a market. And will it go up to $1 million? Possibly. 21 million is the max coins you can have. And I know that a lot of the coins that were stored on devices back when it wasn't as popular are now lost, so it's going to be less than 21 million coins. And well, I keep hearing things like it's a limited supply, making it a deflationary currency, and I tend to agree with that. The only problem I have with that is forks. Now, Bitcoin has forked into Bitcoin Cash, and there was another fork that recently got cancelled, but at the end of the day, there could be any unlimited number of forks, so where does it stop? And could you consider that similar to printing money? In essence, how many cryptocurrencies is the world going to use? Are we really going to use thousands of cryptocurrencies in the future? I don't think so. I think there will be a handful of winners that we'll be using. Not necessarily decentralized either. Perhaps governments might centralize, but then it becomes more of just a centralized database and not so much a blockchain currency. So there's a little bit of variation there, but I think in the future we'll probably be using, say, a handful of different currencies, and the other currencies will probably lose out. And as for ICOs, I believe ICOs could be a good thing. They're very under-regulated at the moment, and people would say that is a good thing, but on the other flip side of the coin, there's lots of people losing money, lots of people who are scamming people, sort of raising cash through these initial coin offerings and then running off with the money. And then I see these clubs that you can join, and they're pump and dump clubs. So what they do is they tell you to buy a specific coin, and they buy, forever setting the price higher and higher and higher on that coin. And then once it reaches a certain value, they all just dump it. And what I mean by dump it is they all jump in and sell at that higher price and cashing in on that profit difference. A lot of people saying it's the Wild West in ICOs at the moment, and I tend to agree. The most recent ICO I've sort of looked at is Power Ledger with their Power tokens, and they have 350 million in circulation at the moment, but with a total of 1 billion, which is, to the Australian population, about 41 tokens per person. And you need these tokens to access their application to trade peer-to-peer, generate electricity from, say, solar panels on your roof. And the currency in the actual trading of the energy will be called what they say is Sparks, which I don't believe is out yet. They reckon this technology is going to come out around 2019-ish, but I'm not going to gamble on it just yet. At the moment, it's akin to a new technology startup that's got a long runway before they reach any form of business. With ICOs, I think while they have potential, I think they're very risky in the fact that they aren't regulated. You've got no course of justice to, chase them down and get your money back. The share market, at least if a company goes bust, you usually have a claim on the money of the liquidated assets, provided the debt is paid first, you being the equity owner. So do I own Bitcoin or do I own any other currencies? Not at this stage. Would I consider it? Possibly. It'd have to be a lot cheaper and a lot more useful to me to use it. It's the same way I treat every other currency. I don't like to keep a lot unless I'm saving to buy something. So I don't see any real use case for it at this point in time. Is Bitcoin a store of value? As long as there's people out there willing to pay for it. So it's $10,000 Australian at the moment, give or take. And as long as someone is willing to pay $10,000 for it, it's storing that value. There's no arguments there. I wouldn't go out and put all my money in Bitcoin. I wouldn't be selling my house and putting it all in Bitcoin. Although you might become an absolute millionaire, you also might lose everything. Because at the end of the day, gold could become worthless as well. Although gold's got a lot longer track record than Bitcoin. Bitcoin, while it is a means of exchange and store of value, it doesn't generate any cash. It doesn't generate money, doesn't provide shelter. I'm not saying don't buy any cryptocurrencies. Just make it a small portion of your investment portfolio until it's accepted by the masses, it's scalable, and much more more places take it. You can start buying coffees with it. You can pay your rent with it. It's at the moment it's very niche. There are a lot of places that take it, and there's more and more things coming out like ATMs where you can exchange Bitcoin for cash. And I think that's a fantastic idea. You say, I get a Bitcoin and I want to travel to the States. I can go to an ATM in the States and take out my cash in exchange for the Bitcoin. And that way I don't have to carry cash around on the plane to the airport, from the airport. In touching on that point is the remittance market, where you've got countries that don't really have a very good means of exchange. Their currency might be worthless. They might have family living in more developed countries sending them money, and that's very expensive and very risky, I suppose. In terms of expense, Western Union and MoneyGram, they've got very high fees. So I believe the remittance market going forward will greatly benefit from cryptocurrencies. People like Australians, I think long term will be definitely using cryptocurrencies. I don't keep cryptocurrencies and I don't trade cryptocurrencies because I'm not a currency trader really. I don't do any foreign exchange trading and I don't plan to, and I consider cryptocurrencies a currency and I'm not going to trade. Will I invest in ICOs? Maybe. I'd kind of like to see them more regulated, but if I do invest in ICO, it'll be a company that is actually solving a specific problem. Can you make money on cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin? You sure can. If you can ride the waves in terms of you buy low and you sell high, you buy low, you sell high, and you've got a good understanding of how to trade them, you can definitely make lots of money. And if you buy a handful of these coins and wait 20 years, I've got a good feeling that a handful of them will still be around in the future. I'm not sure which ones. I'm sure many will die. There's thousands out there. But if you take the coins with the most utility and the ones that I guess you believe will survive in the future, you could become that 10 millionaire that I could have become from Bitcoin years ago. I have a suspicion that there's market manipulation going on in the background, and I've already spoken about these pump and dump clubs, and I imagine this will be happening on much larger scales that are very quiet. Perhaps the hedge funds are doing it, and they have the money and the ability to buy big, sell big, and walk away with the cash. But that brings me to the point of don't put all your eggs in one basket. So if you're going to buy these cryptocurrencies, buy a handful of the ones you believe are going to work and just put a small percentage of your portfolio in there. I wouldn't put any more than, say, 10%. Thanks for watching, guys. I apologise for the construction noise in the background. It's a little bit annoying, but that's just life on the Gold Coast at the moment. Lots of building going on. If you guys could subscribe and like my channel, that'd be much appreciated. And I thank you for all your support. You can reach me at investorunchained@gmail.com. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.